I want to bring in now somebody who's pretty familiar with politics, Corey Lewandowski, President Trump's former campaign manager and author of the new book, Let Trump Be Trump. Corey, thank you for being with us. And let me pick up a little bit on what we've been watching with Director Wray. You have a law enforcement background. You went to a police academy. The president is tweeting about his own law enforcement agency, saying that the reputation is in tatters. You have to have the director of the FBI now come out and defend his own agency. Doesn't that bother you?
What bothers me is that the men and women who serve in our great country as the FBI agents, 99.9% of them are the most upstanding people. But unfortunately, what we've seen in the last week or so is an agent who almost single-handedly had a narrative that he wanted to take down the president, was actively aggressive in taking down that president, interviewed Hillary Clinton, changed the recommendation of how Hillary Clinton should be charged, intervied Cheryl Mills,
You're overstating some of the facts here, I think. You are overstating some of the facts. This is the person who says it. But your point, it sounds like, and again, those are not the facts of the case, but the president is pointing out with some of what you are seeming to be describing as bad apples. But why would the president focus on those people rather than the, as you describe it, 99.9% of good people who work for the FBI?
At the FBI, prior to Director Wray coming in, there was a culture from the top that permeated of allowing leaks to come from the top of the FBI. Former Director Comey has said publicly in congressional testimony that he took information that he received as the director of the FBI, gave it to a law professor to make sure that information.
But it wasn't classified information.
Hallie, it doesn't matter if it's classified. If you receive information,
the president doesn't like James Comey, obviously, but that doesn't speak to how he feels about the rest of the agency.
Jim Comey committed a crime by doing that. You read the FBI manual. If you receive any information as an FBI agent and you disseminate that without the written authorization of your boss, that's a crime. Jim Comey should be prosecuted for that.
Let me ask you about something else, and pointing out that that is absolutely in dispute what James Comey did, given that that was not classified information. I got to ask you, I don't want to belabor this point. I want to talk about. Listen, I want to talk about one more. I need to talk about something. Wait, no.
Nothing is more important than this. I know, but
there's a lot of things that are more important than this, including. Wait a second, including somebody.
This is the deep state.
Corey, there's somebody who's running for Senate in Alabama on the Republican side that the president has endorsed.
Yes.
I want to set aside, because you have spoken over these last few days as you've been promoting your book about these sexual harassment, sexual abuse claims against Roy Moore. But let me refresh your memory on what else Roy Moore has done and has talked about, which is that he couldn't say whether the person running for Roy Moore, his spokesman, couldn't say as recently as last night whether President Obama was born outside the U.S., whether parts of the U.S. are under Sharia law, whether Muslims should be barred from Congress, whether homosexuality should be illegal, and whether 9/11 happened because the U.S. distanced itself from God. Why is the president supporting somebody who can't answer questions on those positions?
Well, I don't think the president's supporting Roy Moore's spokesperson. He's supporting Roy Moore.
Roy Moore's spokesperson speaks for Roy Moore, and the president's supporting Roy Moore. This is semantics.
Let's be clear. The president has answered these questions already, and no,
he hasn't.
Of whether Barack Obama was born in the United States, of course he has.
He hasn't talked about why he's supporting Roy Moore, even given all of these issues.
Here's what he said. It is a binary choice in Alabama right now. The voters of Alabama can either choose to elect Roy Moore, who believes in smaller government and stopping illegal immigration and moving the president's agenda forward, tax cuts.
And also that potentially 9/11 happened because the U.S. distanced itself from God.
And is a pro-Second Amendment person. Or they can support a big government liberal who's going to be against everything. Now, that's up to the people of Alabama. But if you want to move your agenda forward in Washington, D.C., which includes tax cuts and making sure we don't have illegals coming in and killing American citizens, then the people of Alabama have to decide which of those two candidates they're going to support.
So just to be clear then, it's then your position, and it seems to be the president's position, that it is worse to have a Democrat in the Senate than somebody accused of molesting a teen girl.
Oh, no. Look, the accusations against Roy Moore are unbelievably difficult. But here's what we know the difference is. Between Roy Moore and now the soon-to-be former senator of Minnesota, one has admitted to it, and we have video evidence that he actually did these crimes, and the other has been accused.
But what about what seems to be, as a lot of folks have talked about, a seeming double standard between your party and the Democrats, who, put Franken aside, John Conyers has denied all the allegations against him, just like President Trump has done. And yet he was forced out by Democrats, chose to resign. Shouldn't Republicans be putting the same kind of pressure on people inside their own party?
Absolutely.
Are Democrats getting the moral high ground here?
Absolutely. I agree. Let me tell you something. I believe that if a Republican congressman has been convicted of this and has used taxpayer money to settle a lawsuit.
Setting aside convictions, what about a Republican president with allegations against a Republican president here? John Conyers, again, has denied these allegations. John Conyers hasn't been convicted, and yet his own party pressured him to get out of public office.
He chose to resign.
Are Democrats getting the moral high ground here?
Look, I think the Republican Party has to be very clear about this. And look, we are discussing all of this right now particularly because of what has taken place in the media world, in the world of Hollywood, where powerful men have taken advantage of women through the detriment of those women. And what we know now is that this is a pervasive attitude in Hollywood, in the media, and now in Washington. And there has to be better accountability, because the people who are fired in Washington and in Hollywood should also be fired across the board.
You're right that this is a moment of national reckoning. I think there's no question about that. And so I wonder, for you personally, and be a little introspective for me here, are you looking back at your own behavior when it comes to your interactions with women and reconsidering some of the actions that you take? Are you looking back at the Michelle Fields incident and regretting that? Are you looking back at how you've behaved?
No, let me tell you why. You know what? I never took a picture of my hands on a woman's breast while she was sleeping and thought it was a joke and sent that to my friends.
I'm talking more broadly. I really am asking you to be a little bit. Do you have regrets?
Look, everybody has regrets in life. You know what I don't regret? What are yours? I don't regret. You know what my regret is? I didn't get to serve my country in the military. That's my regret. You know why? Because I love the men and women of my country. And my brother spent 20 years as a United States Marine, and I'm jealous he got to do it and I didn't. My
show's over in about 35 seconds here, but I want to get you on 2 quick points. Donald Trump Jr., somebody that you know, obviously, from your time with Donald Trump's campaign, has said that in this discussion about a statement crafted on Air Force One, he never actually talked with his dad as president. He went through Hope Hicks. That's what he apparently, according to our reporting, testified. Is Donald Trump Jr. throwing Hope Hicks under the bus?
Well, I don't know, but let me say this. It would be very common for family members and other people who are trying to get in touch with Donald Trump to work through an intermediary, not work directly with him.
Last one for you. Have you or your attorneys been approached by the special counsel at all?
No, and what I've said is I'll be happy to talk to anybody. Read the book, Let Trump Be Trump. It's a #1 bestseller. You might be in it. You got to be careful. Corey
Lewandowski, thank you for joining us here for what is always a spirited conversation.
Thank you.
We'll have you back. That does it for me.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.